And big shout out to Brett for asking this amazing question. I've answered it before, but I figured why not do it now? We're in the midst of ISOM2's campaign. And it's a simple question because I retweeted some guy who was trying to offer me some sort of business advice that, I will not be taking. And the guy had said some other nonsense, and Brett asked, he said, why do people hate you so much? And this is a question that we've got from people that are late to the party that have stumbled across ISOM or stumbled across the Riververse, and they see also the hatred that is leveled at us, and they become very confused. Because it can be. Think about it. You're like, of all the things that I do, political hot takes and all that, the least edgy thing that I've done that you think will get me the least backlash, that just so happens to get me the most, is me starting my own comic book company that is actually separated from a lot of the political stuff in terms of the content that we produce. So it's the least probably political thing that I'm doing right now as a creative thing. Okay. And the reason why, and I explained it here, and I figured I'd explain it in words to those that have, again, I can see why that would be completely confused, because a lot of you came from that side of the aisle. Like, well, I just stumbled across you. I saw these guys talking. They made it seem like you were a freaking villain. And then, it's found out this guy isn't too bad and the comic book company isn't too bad, and now you become a fan. Thank you, and I appreciate you for that. But let's explain this, though, in detail of more of what it is. There's usually two factions. There's three. You can add some more, but two large ones. The one, and arguably the biggest one, it's entertainment, it's comics. And a lot of people that are political, authoritarian left, they don't like people seeing success in industries that they feel that they've owned. They've worked very, very hard to blacklist, to create a culture where folks that aren't leftists feel like if they are going to work into the comic book industry and they want to maintain work, they have to shut up. So that's the culture it is that they've facilitated. So when you have people like me, I've done a lot of comic book based content. I've talked about the issues that plague the industry in the content, which isn't just centered around what is quote unquote woke. That's only a small bit of it, right? There's plenty of issues. And I talked about all of that. But when you have a guy who started to put his money where his mouth is and then did what he's doing, building in his own sandbox, seeing a lot of success there. And not to have just $1 million campaign, but $2 million campaigns back to back like that. Well, you can see why they're irritated at that, because again, they felt like they own the industry. So that's one part of it. And that's not unique to me. You're going to feel that the brunt of that if you're not a leftist and you're doing entertainment. Just expect it. The other side, and some of this crop of weirdos popped up as of maybe a month ago. 11 months after ISOM 1 dropped, and now all of a sudden people got that are, of course, not fans of me, have problems. Now, those groups generally are people that they feel I'm undeserving. So I have success that they feel I'm undeserving of. Sometimes it's themselves. Other times it's their friends. Other times it's other people that they look up to, that they feel like, well, why is this guy getting more success than these other people? And therefore I'm going to knock him because of it. He's undeserving. And that type of person is driven by spite. So as the success continues to go up, they get more nasty. That's how they work. They never let up. They won't let up. That's what haters do. But they get more and more aggravated. And it couldn't have been a worse time for these guys. Because like the last month, these guys popped up out of nowhere and spent all this time knocking us and hating on us and trying to delegitimize the company. It's cornball stuff, but that's what it is that they do. They try to delegitimize it, like, oh, it sucks. Nobody actually likes this. It's terrible, yada, yada. And then we release do another campaign, and all of that noise talking that they were doing, they're sitting here forced to sit here and look at the number go up, which means that their efforts were futile. Their efforts they didn't work, right? Trying to convince people, oh, it's the worst thing in the world. This guy sucks. The book sucks. ISOM sucks. Riververse sucks. And then you have all these returning customers who are like, well, we loved it. And well, that's all that matters. So they're forced to have to deal with a couple of different things. One, they're not as impactful, not as powerful, not as ever knowing as they like to think that they are. So they can't really control that part of the market. They try to speak it into existence. But the other fact is that, look, man, haters don't like to see people that they hate shine. That's just not how it works. So those are the two major groups of folks that despise us. And that's why we get so much hate for doing something that is probably the most mild thing that I've done as of recent. I'm in a great position. The company's in a great position. We're going to continue to grow. And it's also a lesson in who you listen to. You don't listen to weirdos that have bad intentions. You listen to your customers. You listen to that base and you give them what it is that they want. And so as long as we do that, we're going to be fine. Let these noise talkers bite at the ankles. Let these noise talkers try to, and maybe often, that second group of people, that's really ultimately what they try to do as well. It's ankle biting. It's the term clout chasing probably couldn't be applied any better than what it is to these guys that are trying to use my name and my company to get views, you know what I'm saying? And to revive their channels and to try to piggyback off of. And look, they're going to be free to do that. But like I said, they've gotten so emotionally involved in it, and that's why they get so frustrated, because they've attempted to delegitimize it. And then I had a campaign that was just ready to rock. And then it just showed that all of what they had been doing for some of these guys, it's been a month. For other guys, it's been a while. And they're sitting here having to watch all of these people be happy, meaning that what they said and what they tried to portray us as, nobody's buying that crap. Instead, they're buying ISOM comics. So big shout out to the customers of the Rippaverse.